Hello boys and girls, this is Anders, of course, and welcome to my beginner's tutorials of Counterstrike Go. A lot of people have requested I do a nice little tutorial to kind of help out the beginners in the game, and also people that have been playing for a while but still kind of feel like they aren't getting their full potential unleashed in the game and they want to do better and they think they can do better. So here's a video with that. I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it. If it turns out to be popular, I'm definitely going to do more videos, kind of covering more specific options like throwing grenades, spray control a little bit better with different kinds of weapons, also what kind of weapons to buy and not buy and that kind of stuff as well. But some of the basic things we're going to look at in this video is sensitivity, how high should your sensitivity be, also accuracy, how to get those very important shots on target wherein you can take your time to actually aim, and also spray control when you need to get your shots on target quickly but you still want to be as accurate as possible even if you can't take the time to actually properly aim. We're also gonna look at movement, how you can move about the map, how you should move about the map, where you should look, where you shouldn't pay too much attention and similar. We're also gonna talk a little bit about the sound, the actual sound you make by switching weapons, shooting or jumping or just simply walking or running. We're also gonna look at map knowledge. Can't really do much about that, that's kind of something you have to learn for yourself during a longer period of time playing different maps, but we're gonna talk about some of the most important maps to get to know and some of the easiest ways of kind of navigating the maps and learning positions and callouts and similar. We're also gonna look at how you should behave when you're buying your weapons, because Counter-Strike is a very competitive and very deep game. It looks very shallow when you look at it. It looks like some kind of random hip shooting game, like why can't you ADS and that kind of stuff. That might be some of the things people think about the first time they see it. They're like, oh, what the hell is this? You can only hip fire? That's so weird. So let's go ahead and actually look at some of those things. Okay guys, let's look at some of the basics of the game. I am right now a terrorist. You can see by holding down tab your team and the enemy team. This is a DE map. That means that the terrorists have one bomb on their team that they need to plant on either A or B to win. They can also win by killing the entire enemy team. The counter-terrorists are on the blue side. They have to stop me from planting the bomb, make sure the time runs out. They can also kill my entire team to make sure to win, and they can also defuse the bomb after my team has planted it to make sure they can win. So they actually have more options to win. So we can also by then kind of judge that, yeah, the terrorists, they're attacking, and the counter-terrorists, they are defending. So this has nothing to do with being a camper. You simply have to watch out for people defending the bomb sites when you're a terrorist. So let's head over to B here. Obviously I'm on a private server right now. Map knowledge, it's not something I can really teach you guys, but knowing the maps has a lot to do with just simply playing the maps a lot, getting to know the maps, and that's something you can easily do just like I'm doing right now, going into your game and starting up an offline match with bots or without bots to simply train your aim and also your map knowledge. We can then see we're on B right now. We got our big red X where we can plant the bomb, but we can't just plant it here. We can plant it in a big red area here, and if we go outside the big area, then we can't plant it any longer. So a good thing to do is to try to hide the bomb, be a little bit sneaky. So on this bomb site we can see these not so weirdly looking cardboard boxes. Maybe we should put the bomb up here. That might be a good idea to confuse the enemy when they try to come and defuse it. So as you can see, the bomb is neatly hidden right now. It might not be super easy for them to spot it. They might run around a little bit, and that's a good thing to do. When it comes to other maps and other game modes, like I said, I can't exactly help you much here. It just has to do with how much you play the maps and that kind of stuff. But like I said, a good tip is just go ahead and actually play the maps offline mode with bots or without bots. It's a great way of actually getting to know the maps better, and it is an important part of the game. So, the bomb exploded, my team won, and I just made a bunch of cash for winning. what am I supposed to do with this cash? I'm supposed to buy weapons and equipment. This might be a little bit weird and confusing for new players, but it is quite easy. We have the pistols, you can see exactly what kind of pistols. Heavies, that's shotguns and LMGs, the light machine guns. Then we got SMGs, kind of speaks for itself. Rifles, that includes assault rifles and sniper rifles. Gear includes Kevlar vest plus helmet, and also the Zeus X27 and the defuse kit. The Zeus 27 you can't always use on every place. Grenades obviously entail grenades like Molotov, decoy grenade, flashbang, high explosive grenade, and smoke grenade. And it's very important you buy the things you want before the time expires like it did now. So also training on this on a private server is something that is quite good to do, and it really helps you. There's something called an echo. For example, when your teammates say let's echo, that means buy almost nothing, buy maybe one grenade or maybe a cheap pistol, and then save your money for the upcoming round or the round after that, so you can do what's called a full buy, when you buy armor, an assault rifle, grenades, plus maybe a helmet as well, and maybe something else like a defuse kit or similar to help your team win. Because if half your team has pistols and half have assault rifles all the time, your team is not gonna have as much fun and as much luck and success during the match as your enemy team if they're more coordinated and make sure they actually call those kinds of things. So a good thing is to actually talk with your team, either by typing or by using voice chat. You can see this little icon popping up, and there's a there in the bottom left corner when you're actually talking. Okay, let's look at actually buying some of these weapons. I'm gonna go for an AK. This is a casual game mode, so we already have a helmet and Kevlar, so we don't need to buy that. But the only thing we really need is the AK at the moment. So one of the first things you wanna make sure you have put the right way. And again, like I said, it's a really good thing doing these kinds of things on a private server, offline server, just hosted by your own computer. Like I said, it's easy to do. It's just in the game options when you choose to play or whatnot. You can choose if you have bots on or not bots on. And the first thing you want to do is get your sensitivity the right way. My personal favorite way of making sure my sensitivity is good is picking a nice flat surface or a corner and then just putting a couple of shots in the middle, so I have a good guideline. And then putting the sensitivity to kind of what feels good. If you played Counterstrike before, or Call of Duty, or Battlefield, or any other FPS game, you kind of know about the area you want the sensitivity to be right. You can feel when it's kind of okay, but it's better to get it just perfect. And like I said, this is my favorite way of doing it, putting a couple of markers there, and then move your mouse quickly over those markers and try to hit them. And as you can see, we got a little bit of a dot there that went all the way to the left, kind of weird. We obviously can count that one out, but the rest of the shots we can see landed a little bit to the right and one a little bit to the left. So that tells us I'm pretty spot on. Maybe since we got a little bit more of the shots to the right, we might want to increase the sensitivity so it actually goes quicker. That means that you're doing this kind of by feel. You're hitting the button when you think you're going to be hitting the middle area, and if your shots simply land too much to the right, that means your sensitivity is probably a little bit too low and you want to turn it up. And if you're hitting a lot to the left, that means it's probably a little bit too high, so you want to turn it down. So yeah, we can see, sure, I maybe have a little bit too low sensitivity. So all I like to do then is put in sensitivity, and then we have 14.4, maybe 14.45 will be better. Actually, we did that the wrong way. There we go, added a comma there. And if you don't know how to get up the command console, you can just do it obviously in the options menu, game settings, and then you can see, oh, actually I don't think this is the right one. No, that's the radar. We actually have to go to controller, it's so weird. But here we can see the sensitivity and that kind of stuff. And you can also change the sensitivity you have when you're zoomed in. When it comes to the crosshairs, I like to have my crosshair like this, it never changes. A good way of learning the game in the beginning is having a non-static crosshair that changes when you shoot quickly or when you move, so you know when you're accurate or not. Counterstrike is quite a fickle game. For example, if I move around a lot, I can still be pretty accurate with a pistol. But if I try to do the same thing with an assault rifle, you can see the bullets start going all over the place, and that's because they are a lot harder to hit whilst moving. So if you need to move a little bit, then stand still for half a second, and then shoot, and then move again. This is the best way of doing that. When it comes to the crosshairs, you can obviously change those as well in the options. I made mine on a website. I don't remember the website at the moment, I'm so sorry, but you go into game settings and then you have hood options here, and then crosshair style, crosshair color, hood scale. You can change a lot of good stuff. Another important thing to be able to is control the recoil good. Obviously, if you shoot one shot at a time, you're extremely accurate with a rifle like the AK-47, but if you go full apeshit, full auto, you kind of start to see it going upwards. So you can see even at a very close range that happens. If we go a little bit further back, we can see the exact same thing happens, but with a much larger area. So if we want to be accurate, we want to hold down, we want to press the recoil down, so actually aiming right there, we want the majority of the shots to go there. That's where the enemy is. So we slowly move the crosshairs down, and as you can see, I finished off by having the crosshair all the way down here, but my shot still hit over there. Actually 2 hit right there, but you get the gif, I guess. The best way of training this is by doing exactly what I'm doing here. Go onto your own server, maybe put in a couple of bots, and then try to go and shoot the bots in the head most of the time, and in those clutch situations when you have to go full auto, then try to conserve your shots a little bit and move nicely. So that is what I can tell you about accuracy, aim control, and sensitivity, and the crosshairs. Now we come to the last part, and that is the movement. Movement is quite different here in Counter-Strike Go. People can hear your footsteps, so if you're running or jumping, they can hear you run or jump. They can hear you run, jump or shoot even, and they can also hear you reload. So you want to make sure you reload in a safe environment, unless you absolutely have to. Otherwise the enemy might hear that you're reloading, come around the corner and shoot your ass before you can actually defend yourself. So, one of the best things to explain is that a lot of the times when you're gonna see your teammates or other people jump up on things or objects, or even just to get a little bit of an extra edge over you, that is because they're jump crouching. If I only try to jump here, I can never make it up. It's impossible. Doesn't matter how much speed I have or where I jump from, but if I jump and crouch at the same time, I actually get up here. So crouch jumping is one of the most important things to think about in Counter-Strike Go. Also, when we're talking movement, it's very important to move the correct way. So for example, if you don't want the enemy to know you're coming, you want to sneak slowly and carefully, and then check corners, peek a little bit, then peek a little bit to the other area, check again, check even more. You're starting to feel, yeah, it's kind of safe here, then check a little bit more here. Finally, fully checked, we can go on. Preferably, if a teammate, for example, is moving in to be here, you might want to cover down there if you heard any sounds. If not, you might want to back him up. If he is checking this area, you might want to check this area. So you're actually peeking different spots, both of you, otherwise you might just end up being a target, both of you. And when you actually get onto the bomb site, simply plant the bomb, and then you want to go into a defensive position. Oh man, I didn't actually plant it correctly. I didn't wait, here we go. And then you want to defend this place. And a good thing to do then is basically do the opposite. You want to take it easy, you might want to stand in a place that isn't so common. This is a quite common spot, so you might want to move up a little bit. Here's a little bit of good cover. You can still see the enemy. You can still shoot the enemy from over there. But that also means the enemy can shoot you from both directions. And if they both come in at the same time, you might be a little bit screwed. Another good position might be over here. Not so much cover, but at least you're covered from that area and that area. So that's the kind of things you want to think about when you move around the game. How much sound you make, in which situation do you need to run, and if you really need to run, make sure you have your pistol out or your knife, because you run a lot quicker with those than what you do with an assault rifle or an SMG or especially a sniper rifle. So you can see that I jumped 23 times, quite a lot indeed. So I'm hoping you guys can put this to the test. Just a little bit of a pointer. If you want to train on your aim and your recoil management, I would definitely recommend doing this with the bots, just like I told you before. But also there's some excellent community servers hosted by people that pay out of their own pocket or pay for the servers with donations that have aim maps. You can search for them easily just by putting in aim in the search bar, and then you can find aim AK Colt, you can find aim AVP and that kind of stuff, so you can actually train on those specific weapons and get better, and just simply learn how to shoot, maybe also learn how to shoot through objects and similar. Like I said, if this turns out to be a good video, I'm gonna try to go through more of these things more in depth later on, but I think that's gonna be it for this video. As usual, thank you guys for watching, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.